Hello, good morning. Um, Coming to you live from my bedroom, not live, but from my bedroom. My nephews are over, so it's a little wild in the living room. So I came back here where it's a little more quiet. Um, and we're going to do our reading lesson for today. Um, so this week we've talked about how important characters are in our story. They're the most important part of our story. They're the ones who take us through the story. Okay. Um, we have talked about that we need to get to know our characters to understand them better, and that one way we can understand our characters better is by the secondary characters. So the other characters that are in our story. Okay? Um, and today we're going to be talking about how do we bring the characters to life in our story. We're going to be talking about characters' feelings and using those feelings um, to help bring our characters to life. Okay? So, how do we bring characters to life? Well, we pay attention to how our characters are feeling, either by looking at the picture, what the character's saying, what the character's doing. Okay? And then, because we're paying such close attention to how our characters are feeling, we are then going to change our voice to match those changing feelings. And as readers, when we're on our reading adventures in a story, we know that things are going to change for a character. So we can just expect that a character's feelings are going to change throughout a story. Okay, so we always can be prepared to change our voice. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do some of that work together. Okay, maybe if you, while I'm reading, if you think a character's um, feelings, moods are changing, would you just do maybe a thumbs up at your chest level? Okay. All right. And I'll do the same. So we're going to read some from Mr. Putter and Tabby Walk the Dog. Okay. Mr. Putter and Tabby Walk the Dog. Oh, geez. Zeke, the dog. I remember that character from yesterday. Chapter 1, Lollipup. Mr. Putter and his fine cat Tabby lived next door to Mrs. Teaberry and her small dog Zeke. Oh, I remember those characters from yesterday. Mrs. Teaberry sometimes gave Mr. Putter eggplant for his supper, and Mr. Putter sometimes gave Mrs. Teaberry kiwis for her lunch. They were very happy living side by side. That's right, because they're good friends. I remember that from yesterday. Mrs. Teaberry is very supportive. One day, I think something's going to change. One day, Mrs. Teaberry slipped on a kiwi and hurt her foot. Mr. Putter and Tabby took her to the doctor. The doctor said, "This foot needs a rest. No walking Zeke for a week." "No walking Zeke for a week?" cried Mrs. Teaberry. I think she's having a strong feeling. Okay? So I'm going to change my voice to match the feeling. Okay? That's how I can bring my character to life. "But who will walk my little Lollipup?" She always called Zeke her little Lollipup. Well, I'm thinking she's probably sad, scared, worried. Like she's a dog owner. She's going to need to take her dog for a walk, and she can't. Then Mr. Putter, who had a very soft heart, said, "I will. I will walk your little Lollipup." I bet Mrs. T-Berry's feelings are changing. Maybe she's feeling relieved, happy that she has such a good friend in Mr. Putter. Okay. We'll find out. Okay. All right, now listen to how I read this page and see if you notice what I do with my voice. But she was a little worried. I hope he doesn't tug, she said. Oh no, said Mr. Putter. Zeke won't tug. I hope he doesn't wrap around trees, she said. Oh no, said Mr. Putter again. Zeke won't wrap. Did I change my voice at all? Yes, no? I just did it in one. I was not bringing my characters to life. Okay, so I'm going to go back and reread that. And I'm going to try and bring the characters to life by changing my voice for the changing feelings. So, I will walk your little lollipop. Mrs. T-Berry was happy, but she was a little worried. Okay, I'm going to read in a worried way now. I hope he doesn't tug, she said. Oh no, said Mr. Putter. Zeke won't tug. I hope he doesn't wrap around trees, she said. Oh no, said Mr. Putter again. Zeke won't wrap. So I changed my voice based on how my characters are feeling. Okay. And I hope he doesn't chase other dogs, she said finally, especially the big ones. Oh no, said Mr. Putter for the last time. Zeke is a good dog. Zeke is a fine dog. Mr. Putter looked at the little lollypup. Zeke is a dream dog, Mr. Putter said with a smile. I'm wondering if Mr. Putter's trying to make Mrs. T-Berry feel better, because I know they're good friends, and he wouldn't want her to worry. But we do know that Zeke can kind of be a troublemaker. So, we shall see. Chapter 2, The Nightmare. Zeke was a nightmare. The first day Mr. Putter and Tabby took him for a walk, he tugged. He tugged and tugged and tugged. Okay, I'm thinking, ooh, I wonder how Mr. Putter feels. I know how I would feel. He tugged Mr. Putter and Tabby through yards and creeks and houses they had never been through before. When Mr. Putter and Tabby got home, they had to have some warm milk and pudding and a nap, of course. Zeke is not a dream dog, Mr. Putter said to Tabby when they woke up. Zeke is a nightmare. The second day they took him for a walk, Zeke wrapped around trees. He wrapped around an elm tree. He wrapped around a pine tree. He wrapped around a pear tree. And he always wrapped Mr. Putter and Tabby with him. I'm thinking about how Mr. Putter and Tabby would feel. Frustrated. Not super happy about it. But I also noticed that Mr. Putter keeps taking the dog for a walk, because he said he would. That's a good friend. When Mr. Putter and Tabby got home, they had to have some warm milk and popovers and a nap. Zeke is not a dream dog, Mr. Putter said to Tabby when they woke up. Zeke is a nightmare. The third day, Zeke chased dogs. And he didn't chase little ones. He chased big ones. He chased a Russian wolfhound. He chased a Great Dane. and he chased a Saint Bernard. He chased them until they got bored with being chased. Then they turned around and chased Zeke, and Mr. Putter, and Tabby. The big dogs chased them through yards and creeks and houses they had never been through before. When Mr. Putter and Tabby got home, they had to have some warm milk and shortbread and a nap. Zeke is not a dream dog, Mr. Putter said to Tabby when they woke up. Zeke is a nightmare. And the two of them sat a long time wondering what to do. They weren't sure they could live through 4 more days with the lollipop. Oh, I bet they're frustrated and tired, worn out. Chapter 3, The Dream Dog. Here's the deal, Zeke, Mr. Putter said on the 4th day. You be a good dog, and every day after our walk, you'll get a nice surprise. Gosh, that sounds like things I say to my kids. Zeke was a smart dog. He knew what a deal was. The 4th day, he didn't tug, he didn't rap, and he didn't chase. He was a dream dog. How do you think Mr. Putter's feeling right now? So Mr. Putter and Tabby took him to the Frosty Freeze. Zeke had a hot fudge sundae with extra cherries. The 5th day, Zeke didn't tug, he didn't rap, he didn't chase. He was a dream dog again. So there isn't as much dialogue in this book, and that's okay. So when you're reading, be thinking about what your character might say. Okay, think aloud. Like I'm thinking Zeke's like, I did good. That was easy. I was just a good dog on the walk, and now I get this awesome ice cream sundae. I can do that. So Mr. Putter and Tabby took him to the swimming pool. He jumped off the diving board 15 times. On the 6th day, Zeke was a dream dog, and he went to the carnival. On the 7th day, Zeke was a dream dog, and he went to the zoo. When Mr. Putter and Tabby took Zeke home for the last time, Mrs. Teaberry asked, "Was Zeke a good lollipop?" She's probably hopeful, curious. That's why I read it in that voice. And Mr. Putter, who had brought her pecans instead of kiwis, smiled the biggest smile. He said, "Zeke was a dream lollipop." Then he and Tabby said goodbye and went home and had a party. Oh, I bet they're relieved. So when you're reading today in your stories, and when you're reading forever, pay attention to how the characters are feeling, okay? And we can expect that our characters' voices and feelings are going to change in a story, okay? It'd be kind of boring if it was just the same the whole book, okay? So you can bring your character to life by changing your voice, whether it's out loud or in your head, for how the character's feeling. So you can maybe record yourself reading even just a little page in your book. Maybe it has some dialogue in it, so talking back and forth. Or you can read to me and do a little think aloud. Like, I bet the character's feeling happy, sad, because, okay, give that a try. And I can't wait to see what you come up with. Okay.